Yo, what up, my peeps? We're getting deep today, talking about pyramids, aliens, all kinds of stuff on Reddit.
We're just checking out some topics of conversation people have had on Reddit, and just sort of discussing things. We were talking just now about. So there was a post here that said, if there's an alien civilization around 4,000 light years away watching us with a big old telescope, they might be seeing us building the pyramids right now. And I told Ben that's true, and he knows that. But let me explain to you why that is the case. If you don't know, with the amount of time that it takes light to travel, the aliens that would be 4,000 light years away would be seeing light through their telescope that's 4,000 years old. So 4,000 years ago for us, around that time, we were building the pyramids.
Or someone was helping us build the pyramids.
And then we started talking about how the pyramids are a crazy thing. And Ben said that...
the aliens.
He felt that... What did you say? You thought that somebody...
The aliens helped us.
He said that somebody...
The aliens.
Had to have helped us build the pyramids. And I said I agreed.
They even said, even nowadays, like... modern technology couldn't build the pyramids the same way that they were built.
Well, truthfully, yes, you could. The problem is that it's out in the desert. It's very hard to get huge machines and do a lot of stuff out there in the desert. Especially one of the things just being to build a giant structure. Yeah. Not to do a purpose, but just like to build a giant... to build a pyramid nowadays would be super, super difficult. But... given the fact that they did it 4,000 years ago.
And the insides were so complex, like they had chambers.
I had read somewhere that there are still passages in the pyramids that people haven't gone down and looked in yet.
Wow.
Which is crazy enough in itself that like how you said, there's so much, we know so much about these things, and yet there's so little that we actually know about. And I had said that that's how it is for a lot of the great mysteries in the world, that the more we learn about things, we might answer some questions, but it actually ends up raising more questions because there's a lot of stuff we don't know.
I wish we could just go back in time.
Yeah, let's pick another topic here.
All right, I have a topic. It's called Excalibur, the sword.
Okay, you want to talk about the sword Excalibur?
Yeah, I do.
All right, tell me what you know about the sword Excalibur. Tell me its story, its origin story.
All right,
Set it up. For the people who don't know Excalibur, this is the story of Excalibur.
All right, so it was the 12th century. What?
I'm hoping this is going to go where I think it's going to go.
It is the 12th century.
Keep going.
Okay, 12th century England. There was a man, He was pretty cocky, arrogant. Anyway, his name was Arthur, and
Arthur the Aardvark?
Okay, no, it is the 12th century. It's the 12th century, and there's a soul that was forged into a sword, and his soul was trapped into the sword, Excalibur, and he was thrust into a stone for all eternity, waiting for someone to... take him out of the sword. Take him out of the rock. Sorry. Anyway,
This is the story of the sword and the rock.
No. The sword and the stone. Yeah, Excalibur. Okay, anyway. He's waiting for someone with the same physical wavelength as him. And the problem is...
Physical wavelength of a soul and a sword and a stone.
The problem is...
a human is not on the same physical wavelength as that.
Okay, the problem is everyone has the same wavelength as the sword, but only one has the same physical wavelength as the sword. His soul wavelength can release the sword from the stone, and thus you have King Arthur, the boy who released Excalibur from its mighty resting place and became a king.
I'm pretty certain that Excalibur actually was given to Arthur from the Lady in the Lake in the actual story. you weren't like, because some of that was okay. Did you make up most of that?
Yeah.
Did you make up all of that?
All of it. The 12th century part I know is correct. That's the right era.
If that was actually an actual event. But I'm pretty sure that the Sword in the Stone was like a different sword. And so he had that sword, and at a point in like his quest with Merlin the Wizard, Arthur ended up breaking Excalibur. I'm sorry, the Sword in the Stone. And so Merlin was like, oh, take it to this lake, throw it in, and the lady in the lake will hook you up with like a present. And he's like, okay.
A present.
I don't remember the exact words, but he didn't tell him straight out what was going to happen. It was just like, something will happen. And he was like, oh, okay. So he goes to the lake, he throws in Excalibur. I'm sorry, I said it again.
Excalibur.
Yeah, so just the sword from the stone. And it breaks, so he takes it to the lake, he throws it in the lake, and then the lady in the lake comes up with the fixed sword from the stone and Excalibur. And she's like,
which one?
Which one would you rather have? And he was like, I'll take that Excalibur. Thank you.
I don't like you.
I'm pretty sure that's how that went. If you know the actual story, let us know in the comments what the actual story is.
I'll read your story, and I will love your story.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it next time. We'll talk about the true story of Excalibur. We can technically look it up right now and figure it out, but that's not what we're doing. We're talking about other cool stuff. Let's pick another topic here. Having to correct autocorrect is essentially arguing with AI, and is one of the first signs of the robot uprising. I don't know how that's is that really one of the first signs of a robot uprising? Is there like a list somewhere of like, this is how you know it's happening, guys? First things first, you're going to start arguing with them.
Maybe. Would it progress that quickly if that was
No, it's not going to lead to the robot uprising.
So I would say no. I would disagree.
Right. I'm going to disagree for a different reason, because I don't believe that correcting autocorrect is technically arguing.
Yeah.
Because if you're correcting it, it's wrong.
The technology is just not there yet.
Yeah, to argue means to, like, debate ideas or beliefs and, like, sort of draw on each other's perspectives. That's what to argue means. It's like a debate.
I just know that Google's voice recognition is the best voice recognition I've
of all time. Siri, I'm going to let you finish in a minute, but Google voice recognition has the best voice recognition of all time.
Because Siri's voice recognition doesn't even compare to Google. Like, I could be driving down the road with my windows down, and Google will hear every word I say.
I believe that. I mean, Google and Apple are my two favorite companies, like, ever of all time. Like, if I could have, like, all of my money I've ever had in stock, it would be in those two companies.
I'm going to do a live test here. Google, yo, where could I find a Starbucks? It says, Google, yo, where can I find a Starbucks? It says it, or it recognized it perfectly.
Yeah.
Now I'll go to Siri.
I can confirm.
Siri, yo, where can I find a Starbucks? It worked.
Worst comparison test.
Starbucks.
Okay,
Ever.
Siri.
Quite a few places matching Starbucks.
Siri might have gotten a little better for iOS 8, but I still think Google is better. Okay, here's a good one. It would peeve me off to no end if the next generation was the one to develop psychic powers. I completely agree with this. Like, I've gone my whole life hoping and wishing that I had some kind of psychic ability. It would just suck really bad if the next generation after mine started to develop psychic abilities. Like, reading minds, being telekinetic, where you can move objects with your mind, flying, all these abilities that I wish I could have, and the next generation gets them. That's messed up. Nick,
yeah, I would love to weigh in on this. If it would poop me off to no end if the next generation was the one to develop psychic powers, but that's very selfish of me.
Immortality, though.
Any superpower, psychic powers. Oh, even better. Even still, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I would be very upset and disappointed and sad, but I would also be super, super excited and happy that, at least in my lifetime, I could see that stuff happen.
I would be so jealous.
You know what? What's really crazy about this and why I really wanted to talk about it? This is already happening. Did you ever see or hear about the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was like an actual thing where like they were testing and training psychic powers. What I was talking about is the thing that's already going on is what's called the Indigo Children. If you're listening and you're curious, look it up. It's the coolest stuff you'll ever read about.